A federal judge in Florida is striking down the CDC's mask mandate for airplanes and public transportation today. The U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Mizell ruling that the mandate's unlawful because it exceeded the CDC's statutory authority. An administration official says agencies are reviewing the decision, and in the meantime, the travel mask mandate will not be in effect. Let's discuss now. Sara Nelson's here. She's the international president of the Association of Flight Attendants. Ellie Honig is here as well, CNN's senior legal analyst. Good to have both of you on. I can't wait for this conversation. I've been hearing from so many people, so many ways, on different sides of this today, on opposite sides. Good evening. Sara, you first. I want you to take a quick listen to how some flight passengers reacted to this ruling.
That it's official on Southwest Airlines for this whole
no more masks! Woo! On our Delta hub, it says masks now optional for employees, customers, following the White House.
Cheering and celebrations all around, and the airlines didn't waste any time with American Airlines, Southwest, United, Delta, Alaska Airlines, all dropping their mask mandates. What do you think about this and the reaction you're getting from your fellow flight attendants?
We've been hearing from flight attendants for the past several months, very strong feelings, both in terms of wanting the mask mandate to go away, others very much wanting it to stay in place. We've had to deal with conflict on our planes for a very long time because this was turned into a political issue rather than a public health issue. And so we did not take a position on whether or not to extend the mask mandate, but what we said was, let's not make this a public debate. Let's not continue to politicize this, because when that happens, it's creating conflict. Flight attendants, passenger service agents, and others are getting hurt. The problem with today is that this was not an orderly shift. This is not the way that you move public policy. Some flight attendants were on the plane hearing this for the first time as pilots were making an announcement, and they're in the cabin. Up to that moment, they were told their job was to enforce this. They are supposed to have that standing in the cabin to keep everyone safe, and that really undermines their role. So there should be a more orderly transfer, and we're really concerned about the chaos that this created today by the way that this was done.
Okay, so then the question is, look, you have to you've been policing this, right? And people have been upset about it. And you mentioned all the fights and people. Do you think that this, in some way, will this make people, will you have to be more police? Will you have to police more now, you think, or you think less?
Here's the problem, Don. People have been claiming that when this goes away, that the conflict goes away. But some of the most violent events that we've seen on planes over the last 2 years have had nothing to do with masks at all. Or what we have seen is that people get upset on either side of the issue. There are some people who've gotten physically violent because they're upset that other people are not wearing the mask. So I think what this is going to do is this is going to create a situation where flight attendants are essentially creating the smoking and non-smoking sections on the planes like we used to.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked the question.
People around. That's right.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question. Like, what is this?
More work for us.
Okay.
That's right.
A lot more work. So you think does this make it harder than just having like, hey, look, you got to wear a mask? You think this makes it harder?
Oh, look, I think a lot of people are really happy that they're going to have the personal choice of not having to wear it. We're going into the summer months. It's really hard to wear when you're sweating, and the flight attendants are working 14, 15 hours a day and having to enforce this, but it's going to be difficult. What we are saying is everybody be patient, be calm, listen to the instructions. Let's just be respectful of each other. That's how we're going to get through.
Okay, good. Because I don't know what you said. One thing you said. The majority of the confrontations on planes, did you not say that had nothing to do with masks?
The violent confrontations on planes have generally not had to do with masks. They've had to do with other issues altogether. So there's been this idea that the masks have created all the conflict, when in fact there has been this push of conflict on society and this desire to buck any kind of instruction at all when the flight attendants are just there doing their jobs, trying to keep everyone safe. And simple safety instructions are setting people off.
Wow. Not an easy job. That's why I always, whatever the flight attendant says, okay, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, I will do it. Ellie.
Thank you. Thank
Ellie,
you.
you say today's ruling is not, because it's temporary for me. I only have to be on a plane for a couple of hours, and people should realize that. You guys are on planes a lot more, and you have to deal with not just me, but hundreds of people on flights every single day, thousands on flights. So just do what the flight attendant says and then move on about your business. Go about your business, get off the plane, and then everything is fine. Ella, you say today's ruling is not a policy decision, but strictly a legal determination. Where did the judge find the CDC fell legally short with creating this mandate?
Yeah, John, so it's important to understand the judge did not say this is good policy, this is bad policy. This was not a health ruling or a science ruling, nor should it be. This is a legal ruling. And really, this is a procedural decision more than anything else. The judge said, first of all, CDC, you made a rule that goes beyond the authority that Congress gave you. And second of all, the way that the Biden administration went about this, according to this judge, violated the procedural rules. An agency like the CDC cannot just rule by decree. They have to follow certain rules about putting up notice and comment and letting people comment for 30 days and giving specific reasons for their decisions. And the judge found the Biden administration did not do that. And that matters. I mean, the Trump administration had several major policies struck down because they didn't follow the procedural rules. And according to this judge, the Biden administration did not do so here. And that's the basis for this ruling.
So is this it? No changing? No going back, Ellie? Legally?
Yeah. Well, so Sarah makes a really good point that flight attendants were put in a bad position today. And the onus is on the Biden administration to make clear very quickly what they're going to do. Because as of this moment, the mask mandate has been struck down. But the Biden administration can, A, seek a stay, meaning, Judge, we want you to put this on pause. They've not done that yet. I think they need to come out very quickly and say we are or are not going to seek that. And B, we need to know whether the Biden administration will appeal this to the Court of Appeals. Usually you would in this situation. They've lost. However, I think given all the factors, there's a chance they don't. So I really think the Biden administration owes it to all travelers, to flight attendants, to tell us very quickly what they're going to do. But right now, as we sit here, Don, at 10:45 p.m. Eastern on this Monday, the mask mandate is off.
Yeah, I think if they were going to do what you said, they probably would have acted very quickly, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah.
Thank you both. I appreciate it. Be safe.